And a 17-year-old male has been charged with 3 counts of murder and the attempted murder of 10 others at a dance class in Southport.
Well, this all comes as protesters took to the streets of London, Southport and Hartlepool following the mass stabbing that resulted in the deaths of 3 little girls.
Well, angry crowds threw flares and bottles at the gates of Downing Street, some chanting "Rule Britannia" and "We want our country back."
Well, over 100 people were arrested following the riots in London last night, and the mother of one of the victims condemned the violence and urged people to stop.
Let's talk now to retired Scotland Yard Detective Inspector Hamish Brown. Good to see you this morning, Hamish. How do we measure what's going on here in terms of the rioting? Because you can understand people's absolute fury that this has happened. But, I mean, again, that's no excuse, is it, for the behaviour we're now seeing?
No, it is no excuse. And indeed, one of the mothers of one of the little girls killed, she's come forward to say, please stop. This is adding to their distress. Goodness knows what it did to the people in Southport who have been through all this, this riot on their doorstep. It is distasteful, it is vulgar, and it is people with their own political aims, maybe political with a small p, but they want to take it forward and cause misery for other people. They don't represent this country. The ballot box does that. Parliament does that, and this is not going to achieve anything. Now, the police are going to be on their toes without any doubt. They're going to be opening up, I suppose, things like what's called a casualty bureau, just in case. They'll have their operations room on standby, ready to go. Some forces will be looking for what's called mutual aid. That is kind of another force, and they might have enough on their plate anyway. Can they help that force? And of course, we mustn't forget the excellent work of the other emergency services. I'm talking about the paramedics, the hospitals, the fire service, and a few others, no doubt. So it's a combined effort, but people will be, or the police will be ready for this, and they'll take it up from there.
OK, Hamish, thanks very much indeed. We're going to leave it there just because the sound quality is pretty poor on that line, but thanks very much indeed. I mean, I can't think of the last time I came into work after I've had 3 days off, and the country seems to have changed because of this. I mean, to come back in and to deal with what is going on, it is just so beyond appalling, isn't it, to what actually happened on Monday. And it's impossible to get your head round, frankly. But then to see this reaction that we're seeing, and you do wonder if people... I can understand the anger and frustration, but why take it out on the police? Why is it being turned in this direction? Because it's not helpful to anybody, actually. And
it's the speed of that mood change. I mean, it went from an intense outpouring of grief, as you can imagine, at the start of the week, as a result of these 3 girls being killed in such a brutal way, to then that anger towards the emergency services who had just saved so many little girls in that incident. It was remarkable, the speed of this, and also it's happening across the country now. London, Hartlepool. These people aren't related to Southport. They're not, directly involved in that way. And this is Hartlepool pictures that we're seeing on the screen now. And the family, or at least one of the mothers of one of the victims, has said, please stop. Please don't get involved in any of these riots.
No, because it's adding to their pain, actually.
And it takes it away from those 3 little girls, doesn't it?
That's a really good point. It does. And when you think of the numbers, 3 dead and 10 injured. I mean, 10 counts of attempted murder that this 17-year-old has now been charged with. It's just it's beyond imagination. And actually, this sort of behaviour is not helping anybody.
No.
But you've got to think, in stuff like this, you've got to think, what can we do for the families involved?
Well, their lives are never, ever going to be the same again, are they?
No.
And it's just awful to think about, isn't it? Start of the summer holidays, a dance class. You can imagine those little girls were so excited to go to that dance class. They would have been all dressed up, put on their ballet shoes, and that loving parents who'd probably saved and worked hard to send them to that dance school. And this happens. It's beyond imagination, isn't it?
Any thoughts on that? gbnews.com/your say. We're going to obviously be talking about that a lot throughout the course of the morning.